we're staying. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, so I found this on Reddit, and this person was just sharing something that happened to them recently and wanted to get kind of like everyone's opinions. So,
Okay.
she says, I started seeing this person for the past couple of weeks, but we've never done anything sexual. I don't do sex before dating a person exclusively, and he told me he can't have sex with someone he doesn't have an emotional connection with.
Okay.
Today, he asked for my permission to masturbate to my picture.
Okay.
I was initially taken aback by this request, but then it occurred to me that he actually asked for my permission, which is something no one has done before. Now I think maybe I see it as a green flag. Any feedback or advice is appreciated.
Okay. So first of all, are we clarifying he's asking to do it on his own time, not in front of her, like, you know.
Well, why
I
would
would
he need a picture if she's in front of
on
her?
Yeah,
your own
that's
time.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
On your own time. Also, I do want to say we did just jump right into it. No, hi, how
No.
are you?
No.
Just
How
right
are you
in.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So we're talking about masturbation. Minute one.
Yeah.
Minute one.
Okay. I think it's very polite. I personally, because of the cold black heart that I have, I think this would be a turnoff for me. I don't need to know. Just do it, dude. Like, whatever, you know?
I am
It's
afraid.
a little thought policey, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it is. It makes me
you know?
wonder maybe what other hangups might hit
Yeah.
us in the future, or other snags. And I appreciate and I see where. Listen, I think it's to each their own. I think you take it. She's seen it as a green flag. You know what? It might be.
Yeah, wonderful.
Might be.
Maybe you guys are a good match.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't need, I don't want to see a picture of it. Like, don't send me a dick pic or whatever. Be like, looking at your picture did this to me. Like, I don't need that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I also don't
That's
need.
kind of hot too. I mean, we've been talking for a couple of weeks. I mean, it's not
I mean, if you've asked for it, I never want a dick like jump
Unsolicited.
scare. I never
Yeah.
I never want to open my phone at work and it just
Jesus.
pop out at me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So-
Right. Yeah.
but so I don't need that. But I don't know, like when you're really into somebody, I mean, as women too, it's like, I don't know, you get really turned on thinking about someone or you see a picture or whatever. And like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, I would never think to ask permission for that
Yeah.
on my end.
But I
do
a guy would
understand,
think
like,
that's hotter though. I feel like
hotter
a
to ask
guy would be
permission?
like. I feel like a
Maybe.
guy would be so turned on by that. Like if
Maybe.
you were like,
Can I jerk it to a photo?
May I please?
Of you?
That feels very like Dom sub. kind
Your
of.
your LinkedIn profile pic is just really
Really doing it for me. This AI generated photo of you in a suit.
oh God.
oh god. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've shared that on the podcast before. I definitely looked at someone's LinkedIn. They had a really fucking hot LinkedIn photo, and that's how I found out that you can see who's viewing your.
Oh, you did talk about that. Oh
Yeah.
God.
But that's what I was doing, looking at the pictures. So I did not ask permission, but you know,
Did you?
Did you actually like?
yeah.
Oh.
Damn! I want to see this LinkedIn photo.
No shit.
My
Yeah.
God.
What does he do for a living? Man's a lumberjack. Like,
Oh man.
oh wow.
But yeah,
Wow.
no, I mean, I think that is, I mean, like you said, if she thinks it's a green flag, you know, but I want secrets. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want secrets for
Yeah.
myself and I want secrets for my partner too.
I mean, there's something old school, like, you know, genteel about asking in a way, but like, I don't need that.
No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's also something hot about, doing it and then talking to the person about it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think is just like, oh, like looking at your picture made me like so turned on earlier today.
Oh God, I don't know. That would also be like, oh my God. Like it would be like,
It depends.
what?
I guess it does depend. Yeah, I suppose it depends.
But I'm saying like I don't want to know everything about my partner. I just feel like a little bit of secrecy or mystery and privacy is necessary.
100%.
I agree.
And attractive, you know?
I agree.
I don't want to know. Like, people are weird and gross. I don't need to know. I know I'm weird and gross. I don't
Same.
want everybody to know everything about me.
Oh, no.
You know?
No.
As I talk
We've
about what I
discussed
talk about on the podcast.
You know, like we just said on the shorty, this podcast is going up in flames if anything happens to any of us. You know, also like we have a pact, like I need you guys to come over, burn all my diaries, get rid of all my sex toys. Like if anything happens to me, I am gonna have to make a key for you guys to come into my apartment and just clear that shit out.
We really do need to work on our Dateline binders too.
100%. I'm gonna have a folder on my laptop. I'll give you the password. Anything happens, you've got my Dateline folder. If I go missing, in fact, why don't we just put it in our Google Drive? We have the space.
That's true.
Just Dateline
folder.
And Keegan, Cassie, Christina.
Approved photos.
And you know, we'll have separate
Missing
folders
photo.
within that folder. Exactly. Missing photo, murder photo.
That's
like
right.
if I'm missing, it's one set of photos. If I'm murdered, it's a different set of photos. Like it's
That's
the
right.
best pictures of me.
They keep showing on like TikTok. There's a thing about this one. I don't know, something happened. It's clearly like a Dateline or a 60 Minutes or something. And they're talking about this girl and they're like, so fucking awful. They're like, well, she was a bigger girl. She was kind of homely. She really wasn't that much of a looker. And I'm like,
Oh my
you couldn't
God.
find friends? Like, or are these her friends? This is so like, it was so
What's the
fucked
point
up.
of that?
I don't know.
understand.
I would haunt.
Oh,
I would haunt
all of
haunt
them.
you so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would fucking never, first of all.
I know. But also, you have to be truthful. Sometimes when I watch these Datelines, I'm like, okay, they're making her out like she was a saint. Like, be realistic. And be like, sometimes she was a little bit of a bitch, but I mean, not enough to murder her for. You know what I mean?
Saturday Night Live characters when they're like, oh no, she was great, but you know, there was this, you know, if you were really going to boil it down, she's a little bit, I don't know.
I mean, look, listen, nobody is for everybody. That's just the way
That's
that it
right.
is. Like, nobody is for everybody. Like, you're my bitches. You guys
Yes.
are for me.
Yes.
And I realize that, like, maybe you're not for everyone else, and I'm not either. Okay.
Yeah.
We're friends for a reason. So if I'm talking about you on Dateline, I'm like, she was the baddest bitch in town. I love her.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, there's not going to be a time when I'm like, well, she could have been. And because I don't know that girl. Who I know is the badass bitch. And
yeah, and also
she's
fuck
amazing.
those people who think that about her.
Honestly,
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I recognize that I'm like cilantro. Some people love it. Others, they're like, ugh, soap. So, you know.
Yeah. Listen,
be what it
I love
be.
cilantro. So
There
I
you
do
go.
too. I do too. And we're all that way.
Yeah.
Like, we're all that way. Doesn't matter who you are. You
no,
know,
I light up a fucking room. I don't know what
my-
you're talking about.
Yeah. Actually, Cassie, you do. That is an
You
accurate.
do. That is true.
description.
Yeah, actually.
I am not
You
that
light
person.
up the room. You light up the room like a fireball
Like
in the most like complimentary way.
Yes. Yes.
like boom,
fucking
bitches, I'm here. What's up?
Like a
What's
Molotov cocktail. I light up the room.
That's what I'm saying on Dateline for sure.
Oh, Cassie.
my God.
No, she lit up a room like a Molotov cocktail.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. I'm like sweating.
Oh my gosh. Now, I need very much for us to have the hard conversation that we've been putting off. I forget which one of you guys texted that
it was
picture.
me. I know what's
Keegan.
happening right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a huge discussion to have because I don't think that we are in agreement.
We are not.
And
Okay.
um,
I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
we're talking potatoes, and it's very fucking serious.
It is
to me
because we're all big potato fans.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got Midwest blood. So like potatoes are holy grail. Very important. I just had them yesterday.
Okay.
So,
I think we should start off favorite and worst, right? Like favorite potato for me, hands down, tater tots. God, it's so tough. It's tough too. Cause
Are we talking from that picture or just favorite potato in general?
Yeah,
okay.
no, from the picture.
Let me pull the picture up. Okay,
down. There's too many.
I'm gonna go ahead and give the listeners the options here.
Okay.
So the options are shoestring fries,
Gross.
curly fries,
Yum.
tots, waffle fries, sweet potato fries, zigzag, wedges, or onion rings are not potatoes. So I don't know if we want to include those.
We won't even include those.
No onion rings.
No onion rings.
So those are the options.
I think you should put mashers in their place.
like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I love a mashed
These
potato.
are more like finger food. So we're talking
Yeah.
finger food potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
All
we
right.
have shared stories where people eat with their hands.
Scoop up them mashers.
I mean-
yeah.
hash browns, like the McDonald's hash brown.
Those are like tater tots.
You're right. They're so
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are delicious.
I
Because I said there was a clear winner here, and which I said was tater tots, and you guys were like
curly fries.
Also tops, real high.
I am gonna go with curly fries because one thing that isn't on here is those like really crispy fries, like those ones that like are like double fried or whatever. I think you can get them at like Rally's, like the ones that like are like look.
Oh yeah, those seasoned fries.
Yeah,
like that.
and like curly fries are the closest to
Yes.
You're right.
So I'm gonna go curly on here, but to me, okay, I have two options for losers.
Okay.
And I feel like they're not going to align with your
it's
guys's.
sweet potato fries
Obviously.
1,000 times out of
How
1,000.
dare you?
They're
I love sweet
awful.
potato fries.
They're
How dare you?
awful. And
It's not even the same
shoestring
potato.
fries?
Oh.
Shoestring fries? Disgusting.
Imposters.
Love shoestring fries.
Gross.
No,
Love
those
them.
shoestring fries are like McDonald's fries.
Ew, no, I think of them as the shoestring fries are thinner than the McDonald's fries. They're
Yeah,
the ones that
I
you
like
get from
them
like
thin.
In-N-Out. Gross. Ew.
Well, but In-N-Out's fries, not the. But if you've ever been to like a Steak and Shake, like
Yeah.
those are shoestring fries to me.
Yeah.
And
Don't like
I'm
'em.
down.
Hate
oh
'em.
man, I'm so down because for me, the thing that I like is them being like crispy. So for me, zigzag fries and wedges are on the out.
Yeah.
Wedges are towards the bottom because a
Same.
lot of times they're not cooked properly,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
you're getting like raw
Weird
fucking
and mushy.
potatoes.
Disgusting.
Yeah, like I don't want that in my
Too
life.
meaty.
B-Dubs has really good
Yes.
potato wedges. Those
You
are good.
so right.
I know I'm right. I've thought a lot about this.
But Chris makes
I have
Chris
a
makes potato
master's
wedges.
degree in potatoes.
It's true. It's true.
You know, we have not discussed the waffle fry, which underrated the waffle fry. I
It's
feel like
the
we
Canadian of potatoes. I don't know why, but I truly see that as like, I don't know. It feels
don't know
like
what you
everything
mean by
else
that.
I don't
is
either.
very American.
During-
This feels
during this-
Canadian.
During this trying times,
Right?
then I feel like the Canadian fry wins. It's
100%.
I do. I love a waffle fry. It was
Yeah.
not. It was.
When-
It's close up there. You know.
When a waffle fry is an option, because it's not always. Like,
Right.
It's not always an option, but like when it is an option, always happy with it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
never disappointed by a
Right.
waffle fry.
That's
Yeah,
why I
that's
said
right.
they're
It's
the
true.
Canadians because I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude, they're
You're never
reliable,
disappointed.
trustworthy, not
true.
disappointed. Waffle fries, fucking.
Now,
public
a
health
zigzag. We love it.
we love
A
it.
zigzag fry. Who is ordering? Like, who
No.
is choosing that? Like, if
Me.
you have an option.
Me.
Are you serious?
Yep. I
it's not-
love a zigzag fry. It's nostalgic for me,
I feel like they're always a little wilty.
dude.
They're
You
always a little mushy.
you gotta make them in the air fryer. Chef's kiss, dude.
Okay.
Okay,
all
like
right.
a home
I got it.
made.
Yeah, I got
Yes.
it, and I put it in the rotisserie basket. You do
Okay.
it, French fry setting, 24 minutes, fucking
Oh.
perfection.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it
Okay.
down to a science. Because
Yeah.
for me, zigzag reminds me of It does remind me of childhood.
Just
but
give
it
it
reminds me
Ore-Ida.
of childhood. It reminds me of like it's like one of those kid lean cuisines.
Yes.
Do you remember those like kid ones that you like
Yes.
put in the microwave? And I'm like, why are we putting French fries in the microwave?
Ugh.
And then they're like weird and mushy,
soggy.
or like what you would get at school. You know, like they're always giving zigzag fries. I think they're fun. They're always giving them to children for some reason, and they're never
true.
cooked right.
Yeah. They're good. They're good for chili cheese fries, but only if you cook them until they're crisp. But most
They've
people,
gotta be crisp.
They got to be crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is most people don't cook a zigzag fry till it's crisp. It's always like the palest of the fries. Like
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
a light pastel yellow.
Yes.
It's an inside of the banana yellow. It's very, very pale.
So if we're gonna
Yeah.
fuck, marry, kill our favorites, it sounds like it's curly, tots, and waffle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know what I'm going to do immediately. I have to
I mean, I
marry
do
the
love a
waffle.
tot.
I mean,
Yeah, reliable.
I got to have
Reliable.
that. I have to have that social health care. I got
Steady Eddie.
yeah. You know, because you got to have like, yeah, it's steady. You could make a nacho out of that bitch. You could, I feel like there's a lot you could do with it. It's going to surprise you with the options you could do with it, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the most stable,
Yes.
most sturdy.
Absolutely. It's a Capricorn if it had a sign.
Yeah. It's like a net. It will catch you.
It's
Yeah.
going to catch
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Lovely. Lovely. I love what
And
you
you
did
can
there.
you can add variety too to the waffle fry by like changing out what you dip it in. Do you want to dip it in ranch?
Truly.
Do you want like a kind of spicy ranch?
I mean, truly, that is the beauty of all French fries and potato
Truly,
related.
Yeah.
You know, the
I mean,
potato
same
is
thing
the
with
most
tater
versatile.
tots.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and man, like you know what I love is chili cheese tater tots. There's something about like the tater tots specifically with like stuff on it, like loaded
Yeah.
tots.
Loaded
They
tots.
hit different. They
Yeah.
hit different than fries.
God, this
Yeah.
is now. This is where it gets like difficult. Like, which one do you fuck?
The curly,
Like,
fry,
curly fry.
is the Pedro Pascal of French fries.
A little wacky.
A little wacky,
Right?
a little spicy.
A little spicy.
You're gonna
Yeah.
do a little dom play. Like some days he wants to be in control, but then some days he wants you to be in control. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
a you don't
Yeah,
know.
sometimes
You don't
sometimes
know.
it's a tight curl. Sometimes
Yeah,
it's one of those
sometimes it's a
loosey
loosey-goose.
goose. Yeah.
Yeah.
See that you're getting the most variety in the fry itself
true.
with
Yeah.
the curly fry.
That's
like you
true.
can do a lot with tots and waffle fries, but the curly fry itself, they're like
Variety.
snowflakes.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah, no two are the same.
You're absolutely right. I gotta go
Yeah.
with curly fry. I'm gonna fuck a curly fry because you're right. There is a lot more variety in there in the curly fry game. And then I got a friend, a tater tot.
Oh, gotta. Yeah.
Speaking of steady Eddie, always the same, consistent, always tastes good. I've
Always
I've
good.
never had a bad tater tot.
You know what? I had a like a real I don't give a fuck moment the other night
And ate
because I
raw
live
tater
near
tots.
I live near a Domino's, and I ordered a pizza, and they had a deal where it was like actually cheaper to get a pizza and loaded tater tots.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I was like,
Domino's
bring that
has
shit to
loaded
my house.
tater tots.
Yes,
Holy
they do.
shit.
And they have several different kinds. I'm a vegetarian, so I just got the 3 cheese. But they have a Philly cheesesteak loaded tater tot.
That's whoa.
I'm actually
Whoa.
glad that there aren't Domino's here. Now that I know that.
I did order this. I had them, obviously I'm not going to eat an entire pizza and all the loaded tater tots
Hey,
in one night.
we
I do
listen and
have-
we don't judge.
That's right. I'm not mad.
I have some limits,
I'm jealous.
but I did the next day eat without heating them up. Just ate like a few of those tots covered in cheese, cold.
Yeah.
Still good. It was
Okay.
still fucking good.
Still hitting. Okay. See,
still hitting.
that's a good friend.
Yeah, good friend.
That's a good
always there for
friend.
you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually think I'm going to marry the tots. I really do.
Yeah.
There's just like you said, you could put toppings on them. You could do a lot of different, and I've never ever had a bad tot.
Never.
Have them
It
for breakfast,
always makes
'cause
me
they are just
happy.
little hash browns.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah. Tater tots are so reliable. they have a 401k for sure.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Financial planning on point. They fucking look good in their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah,
Crisp.
I think I'm going to do the same. I think I'm going to marry the top because I feel like it's kind of the best of both, where it's not quite as like steady Eddie as the waffle fry, but it's not as unpredictable as the curly fry.
Yes.
It's like kind of right in the middle.
Yep.
It is gonna like be there for you. It's stable enough for that.
Yes. But you fuck the curly fry. You go on a bender with the curly fry.
Oh my god! Yeah. Curly fry. Will they call you again? I don't know. I don't know.
Questionable.
But it's gonna be
Very
good
questionable.
every time. Like, that's your booty call, and
That's
every
right.
time it's gonna be great. Like the sex is good enough that you keep picking up the phone. You know
That's
what I mean
right.
with the curly fry. So
It's worth driving downtown for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes curly fry, you're going to cry. Sometimes you're going to laugh. Sometimes you're going to lose your fucking
you don't know
mind.
what you're gonna get.
I mean,
necessarily. Yeah. But man, are they delicious. And yeah, I'm gonna friend the waffle fry.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good, stable friend. They are always going to come over when you call. They're going to give really good fucking advice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of tough love. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Love it.
hungry. Now I actually really want some tater tots.
I fucking love potatoes so much. I love potatoes.
Too. I had a baked potato last night for dinner. It was wonderful. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
Yes. And we're back. Okay, Cass.
Okay. This one actually happened recently, like last week. Met this guy on a dating app. We were texting for a few days. From his profile, he seemed pretty chill and all the pics were of the same guy. We made plans to meet up at a restaurant that was local to us. He got there before me, and when I pulled up and parked, a huge pickup truck pulled up and parked right next to me. The guy driving rolled down his window to get my attention. So I rolled down my window too and said, "Hey, I didn't realize the restaurant was closed, but do you want to get into my car and we can go for a drive?" I was confused for a second because I've never seen this guy in my life until I realized this is the guy I was talking to.
Okay, I was confused because when she said all the pics were of the same guy, I was like, yeah, it's his
It
dating
should be.
profile. Right. They should all be of the same guy. What a weird
Fingers
thing to
crossed.
say.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a completely different guy. The dude in the profile was some tall, dark, and handsome type of guy. But this guy in real life was some scrawny little blonde white t-shirt guy.
Nope. You're already in your car, honey.
Getting in your car.
No.
Put it in drive and drive away.
I
The
pulled up his
end.
profile and said, "This is you?" And he lied and lied and lied, trying to convince me it was him. He kept saying he hasn't shaved in a few weeks, and that's why he looks different.
Honey,
Babe,
I have eyes.
Right. Hi. Oh, so your hair color has also changed with that beard, huh? But whoever's picture he was using had facial hair. It was just completely different person. So I just told him that I can see that this is not the same person, and I don't appreciate all the lies. And I was just going to go out. I wasn't going to go out with him.
Yeah.
He just kept trying to convince me until eventually he said it was fine, and he wished I believed him. He drove off super fast, and there was another pickup truck in the parking lot parked to my left that had someone in it, and that pickup truck followed him out of the parking lot too.
Sus.
I truly
Sus.
believe something sinister was going on.
Yes.
And the restaurant wasn't even closed. I could see people dining and hanging out in there. Good thing I always tell my family when I'm going on a date and show them a picture of the person I'm meeting up with. That way they have my location.
I thought that right away because I was like, why would... It's very weird to pull up next to someone and be like,
Right.
"Oh, get in my car."
Yeah.
no.
Like that- it's
that's
so weird.
terrifying. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you shared that, Cass.
I know. And then having another pickup truck on the other side of you, that's
Yes.
Scary.
creepy. That's
Yeah, very
really
scary.
creepy. That's definitely feels sinister.
Yeah, no, that feels like it could have been trafficking or something.
Ooh,
Totally.
For sure.
that.
Trust your
Wow.
gut.
Dude,
Trust
that's
your gut.
terrifying.
Okay, so this story, this is a worst date, best date
Amazing.
kind of story.
Great.
Also, this was sent to us by a listener like ages ago, and then I had forgotten about it until 5 a.m. this morning when I was laying in bed awake, and I was like, oh yeah, I should go look that up. If you listened to our Shorty episode, this will this goes right along with stuff we were talking about in the Shorty. Okay.
I'm bracing myself.
Ruh-roh. A little backstory. I, 25 female, am an assistant preschool teacher. Okay. About a month ago, I met a man on Tinder. Yes, I know it's a cesspool. We'll call him D, 26 male. Funny enough, I had swiped on him on accident because I dropped my phone.
The universe wanted you to do this for the plot, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
He matched me and I didn't unmatch because his opening line was funny. We talked online for a few weeks before deciding to meet in person. On the day we were supposed to have our first date, I discovered that one of my darling students gave me lice.
Oh
my God.
Oh God, itchy.
Itchy. I was freaking out. I knew he wasn't going to believe me and that he was going to think I was just blowing him off. I immediately tell him that I have to...
Hold on.
Yep.
Out of all the excuses you could
Why
give
would you
to get
choose
out,
lice?
why would you ever choose lice? Don't put that. No one's going to do that. That's never going to be a fake excuse because no one would want to be like, I have lice.
It's like telling someone you have crabs to get out of a date.
No, you're not
like,
going to.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to go there. No. We don't need to go there. Okay. I immediately tell him that I have to go to the store and get lice treatment and that I need a rain check on the date. As expected, he didn't believe me at first, which honestly, so valid, and I couldn't blame him for it. Is it? Mm-hmm. After I secure the lice treatment, I video called my best friend crying about it, and in their genius, they tell me to offer to send him a picture of my raw emotion with the lice treatment.
Oh, Jesus.
I offer, and Dee says, sure, let's see it. As soon as this man saw that I was genuinely crying and holding lice treatment, he offered to come over and help me comb bugs out of my hair.
They're married now.
I asked my best friend what I should do, and they said I should obviously let him do it.
Yeah.
So I give him my address, apply the treatment to kill the bugs. It needed to be on my head for a while before starting the combing process, and I met him outside of my apartment complex to let him in. He spent 2 hours combing bugs out of my hair. I was just a girl he met on Tinder. We hadn't even met in person before this. We spent the whole time talking and joking and discussing our interests, all normal first date stuff. This man was meticulous. He took his time and was so gentle and kind. He didn't make me feel bad about it at all and even tried to make light of the situation. By the time we were done dealing with the lice
and green
all
flag.
all the
absolutely.
nonsense that goes with it, bagging clothing, bedding, etc. It was nearly 10 o'clock and the Mexican restaurant we were going to go to was about to close, so we went to a different restaurant. This man still wanted to take me to dinner after combing bugs out of my hair.
He's a real one.
Decided that he'd already seen me at my worst, so I wasn't going to be shy about eating and ordered a Guinness and a burger. It had been a long day and I just wanted comfort food.
Yeah.
He, however, decided he still needed to impress me for some reason and ordered a Guinness as well, even though he's a light beer drinker and had never even tried it before.
Oh my gosh. Poor guy.
I ended up drinking 2 Guinnesses, sans 1 sip of his because he hated it. He told me I was impressive and that he's never had a girl actually order what she wanted on a first date. He refused to let me pay. I tried, given everything he'd done for me, and he asked if he could see me again soon. We're going out again later this week.
I need an update.
She updated twice. So they did go on a second date to the Mexican restaurant that they had wanted to go to the first time. It was great. And then she updated again a few months later and they were official and they were dating. So, yeah.
I love it.
That's so good.
That's fate, honestly. She swiped on him on accident. Then she got lice on the day of the date and it worked out. Like
and he was the tater tot of dudes coming through.
Yeah. Human tater tot.
Dude, that is universe stuff.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, this is not that at all.
On a different note.
Heartwarming about this. I would love to get your take. So please feel free to chime in. Okay. For context, this was during the height of MySpace days, which I believe is where we found each other, but it's also possible we ASL'd one another in an AOL chat room.
Amazing.
We talked online and over the phone for the course of about 2 to 3 weeks. Not a whole lot, but a decent amount. It was flirty in a good way and reciprocated. She was about an hour away, so we finally decided to meet. Then I find out she doesn't have a car. Okay, fine. I'll drive all the way there and pick her up. She definitely didn't look like her picture, but that only momentarily fazed me as I knew we had a bit of a connection. She also brought her backpack, which seems pretty full and maybe heavy as well. We get to the restaurant. She brings in the backpack. Okay. We talk, as these things go. There's a bit more shyness when finally speaking in person. Food is done, and she says she needs to show me something.
No, don't. No, please don't.
She began digging in her bag and pulls out 2 giant family photo albums.
Oh no.
And like they were both thick books. The bindings were rough, and you can tell they were 10 years old minimum.
Why?
So she starts to show me some recent pictures, and I'm thinking, this is a bit odd. But try and brush it off.
This person is thriving on Instagram right now. They're like,
oh, you're absolutely right.
They may have invented Instagram.
MySpace wasn't for them. They needed a more visual, like, photo-based social media platform.
Exactly.
Cassie, I'm fucking dead. You're so right. Oh shit. Oh my God, all of the pictures. I'm thinking this is a bit odd and try to brush it off because she's referencing people she has mentioned before, but it doesn't stop. It
So fucking
keeps
weird.
going. There's a little story or anecdote with each picture.
Oh my God, what are we going to be here for fucking 3 years? Like,
That's so weird. It's just very weird.
So
As someone who actually loves looking at other people's photo albums and stuff, I don't. On a first, this is
It's a
just
lot.
strange. It's not like it's your third date and you're in their apartment and they're talking about their family. Like, this is like a first date. Where are you? You're in a fucking Cheddar's, just looking through photo albums.
Through a stranger's photo albums. I'm like,
Oh
oh
my
my
God.
God. I find myself having nothing to add in response, especially as we get into extended family pictures and much older pictures of people in her family. She gets to the second book. I quickly realize they are all pictures from her family that took place before she was even born.
oh,
It might be
Why?
40 years of pictures. I'm losing my mind. No other conversation is happening other than her explained picture taken before her birth. It finally ends. I drop her off at home and she legit goes for a kiss. I shit you not. I somehow maneuvered it into being a slight kiss on the cheek and a big hug. I rushed home, removed her from every friends list I had at that time, and we never spoke again.
oh no.
What do you guys think? What? I mean, it's a strategy. That had to be someone that is so nervous they wouldn't have anything to talk about on the
Yes.
first date.
Girl, you were reading my mind because I definitely had dates where I was like, we're not gonna have anything to talk about. I need to preload this date with I don't know. Can I see 19-year-old me being like, look at these really cool pictures of my dad when he was in the Navy? And I don't know. That's so fucking weird.
Let me pull up ancestry.com real quick.
do you want to look at my family tree?
No,
it's
listen.
so weird.
And I find that stuff interesting, genealogy and stuff. I find it interesting. In no way would I be like, do you want to see pictures of my great 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 grandpa?
But
like
I do.
on a first date. I do, but like when it comes up naturally in conversation.
You're right. First date
or,
material,
you know,
this ain't it. You're right.
Coming preloaded with that like that. Like at what point during the date, like you're hour and a half in of looking into like hearing about their entire family. At what point are you just like, excuse me, why are we doing this? Like,
this was my great aunt Julia. She lived in Fall River, Massachusetts. Great.
Cool.
Okay. Like what?
Like it's so awkward.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of conversation to add to that.
No.
Like, because it's not your
you
family.
Don't know these people.
You barely even know the person that's showing you the fucking pictures.
2 photo albums. You went through 2 photo albums. And what did you learn about him? Because nothing.
Nothing.
Not a fucking
that's
thing.
part of it too. I mean,
it's just a presentation.
Right. She's not
It's a
talking
school
about herself
project.
the whole time, but it is equivalent to talking about yourself the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
because you're
true.
not asking them anything about their family. You know, you're just talking about your shit that they don't care about.
She brought like a 3rd grade family project with her to present to him on their date. That's what happened. Like this isn't even like
Oh my God.
You know what? Nowadays, it's probably she's made a PowerPoint presentation now.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's leaving the photo albums at home.
Yeah.
She's just clicking through that PowerPoint.
No,
feel
you're
like she's
right though. I would
satisfied.
actually like look at her Instagram. She like uploaded each of those old pictures and then had like family stories
fucking love
under
old
it.
Kinda cool,
pictures.
I'd be like,
I do. I
I'd
love
follow.
old pictures.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is probably Instagram probably saved her life, dating life, because then she had an outlet for these things where she could share these things, and it didn't have to end up on a first date. She could just send people to her Instagram page and be like, "Here is this," you know.
I'm reading this as they were both pretty young, and I truly do think that she was just like so nervous and didn't think she was going to have anything to talk about. I mean, it's a very strange strategy, but
I feel for her, but yeah. Like you gotta. That's not the way. That's not the way.
Yeah,
that's not
You
the
know?
way.
a backpack.
But what would be your equivalent? Like, I do feel like anxious me, you know, if I was like really, really nervous and didn't know what to talk about, we could end up in a place where I'm showing you pictures of my cat.
I know
sure.
what mine is.
You know what I mean?
Mine is movie quotes from like mine is I've preloaded the deck with like
God,
movie quotes from
great.
like Super Troopers and like Zoolander.
Oh,
and,
God.
And yeah, no, that's me. Like, and then I'm like, oh great, we have this similar sense of humor because I'm also a 12-year-old boy, and so yeah.
I know what mine is. I get like super self-deprecating. I start making I just go like spiral down, make self-deprecating comments and more because I'm trying to get them to like laugh, but then it's like it gets a little too awkward. So yeah, that's my awkward Christina move for sure.
These all feel right. These feel right. Like, I'm like, let me open up my Matilda folder and show you.
Yeah.
Here she is sleeping on my lap. Here she is sleeping on my shoulder. Here she is in the windows.
Oh my God, isn't she so cute? Here, look at this.
Isn't she so cute? Look how cute she is.
Look at her tongue out. Her tongue's sticking out. Look at this one.
They're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Great.
I'm like, did we just become best friends? Yup. You want to go to the garage and do karate? Yup.
Oh my God. Oh, well, you guys want to take 5 and come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
Yes, please.
Hey, everybody. Nope. And we're back. Shut up. Please cut that, Thomas. Please.
Leave it in.
And we're back. Oh my God. Wow. I have the Tainted Love this week. And I did similar to what I did last time, which is it was a recent event that I heard through like just pieces and bits and didn't really fully understand or know the whole story. So I was interested to find out and dig a little deeper into this. You guys will know this 100% because it was big news. I'm going to talk about the TikTok star murders.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There was a documentary on Peacock.
And
I didn't
watched
watch
it.
Okay.
And I highly recommend it. One of the things I really liked about it is that, of course, like her friends were involved and they interviewed, friends, family, things like this. But they also very importantly had a psychologist on there kind of speaking to like some of the psychological aspects of this and, like what that, could entail. So it was a really, really interesting. That plus, there was numerous stories. Rolling Stone had many articles about it as well. So those will all be in the show notes on our website. But this story is about Ali and Ana Abulaban. Yeah. As long as I don't look at it, I can say it properly for some reason. Like some of those things where you're just like, and when I look at it, I'm like, I over try to think the pronunciation. Ali he is a pretty famous TikToker. I don't know if you would recognize him right off the bat, but let me kind of share who he was on TikTok. He actually started more off doing Instagram and YouTube's. So he'd been doing it before TikTok came around, but he really garnered fame, through his medium. He actually grew up in Virginia in a very religious Muslim household. He was a bit of a black sheep of the family. He always people were would describe him as always the character. He always was dancing and singing and kind of this lively, just a real character, always kind of just silly, just a silly guy.
Light up the room with a Molotov cocktail.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And he actually joined the Air Force right out of high school and ended up being stationed in Okinawa. So he was, he was a bit of the black sheep, like I said, and I think probably maybe lacked a little bit of direction. And so I think probably joining the Air Force is a good move for somebody who's, maybe lacking direction, doesn't know what they want to do with their lives at the time. And Okinawa is a very common station for people who join the military.
My dad was stationed there.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Yeah. One of my elementary school best friends moved from Vegas to Okinawa. Yeah. Because her dad was in the Air Force.
Yeah. It's a big base. There's a lot of, it's a very common base for many people to go to. I know that even one of my good friends, when in my 20s, same. I think everybody probably knows somebody who was stationed in Okinawa. Yeah. So anyway, Anna, his soon-to-be wife, grew up in Okinawa. She was of Filipino descent, and her father was actually stationed there. They met in 2014, and Ali at the time was actually not just in the military, but he was a singer in a band. This is, Mr. Entertainer, and he was actually doing really well in the military, moving up. And at this point, kind of rocking his career and just having some fun on the side. But that started to kind of unravel when one night when he was out with Ali, he got into a drunken ball, or with Anna, he was out, got into this drunken ball with one of Anna's friends. And of course the military is nah, no, thank you.
Can't be doing that.
Nope. And they kicked him out of the military.
Shit.
He got discharged.
I feel like the Air Force doesn't fuck around with shit like that. That's just my vibe. Is maybe some of the other branches might look the other way for stuff like that, but the Air Force is not here, man.
No, thank you.
Take it elsewhere.
Yeah, maybe the Navy fucks around with that, but they're you guys,
exactly.
we deal in planes. Okay?
Yeah, come on, grow up.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, a drunken brawl, like, yeah, they're not playing around. So they discharged him from the military. And of course, he was kicked out of Okinawa. He returns to Virginia around that same time. Anna's family is actually moving back to the Philippines because, her mom or her dad was being moved back. And so Anna in the Philippines discovers that she's actually pregnant with Ali's baby. And
oh boy.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, Ali applies for a marriage visa to bring Anna to the U.S. so that they can be together. It takes quite a long time. These things do not come through very quickly. And from what some of her friends were saying, and some of those who were from the Philippines as well, were saying that it's quite difficult to get a marriage, visa to go through. By the time that it actually came through, their daughter Amira was 9 months old. So she found out early in her pregnancy. Like, I think she was only like 2 months pregnant, found out very quickly. And so that whole pregnancy and then 9 months after. So it was quite a while before they were able to, fully come together. And it's around 2017 that the family, they've moved to Virginia. She's moved there to be with him. The family decides to move to Northern Virginia to be closer to Ali's family. Both are very creative types. Anna's cousin even says that it seemed like they were a match made in heaven. They're both creatives. They're both kind of characters. They both bring a lot of fun to the table and have really good energy. Ali starts to produce online content for Instagram and YouTube under the handle at Jin Kid. Have you heard of him? Jin Kid? It's JINNKID.
No, I remember when this happened.
Yeah.
This crime happened because I remember it was all over TikTok. But no, I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, it's funny because I see, like, I kind of remember some of his Instagram content from back in the day. Like, I just kind of, like, I feel like if you saw it, you'd be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
But he started to create like a new fan base. He started doing TikToks. And he's certain that this is actually like a path to fame for him. Like, he could really take this and ride the wave, because he's really becoming successful. I mean, and you can become so successful in this arena. Like, it's definitely possible. Anna starts to film and star in some of his TikTok videos. Ali's videos are really starting to get noticed, but he wants to take his engagement to the next level. And that's when he decides to hire someone to help him manage his content. They make more videos about the game Skyrim. These are kind of, they're honestly, they are admittedly funny because they're kind of like him, like walking into a wall, or moving a chair. It's very much
oh
that,
my God. I have to tell you, so we watched the strangest movie last night. It was called Grand Theft Hamlet.
Oh,
it was
what the fuck? What was about Tubi nonsense is this?
It was a couple of British guys in Grand Theft Auto who found like an amphitheater and they decided to put on a production of Hamlet.
Is this a documentary?
Yes, inside the game Grand Theft Auto. And so all it is like their avatars like performing Shakespeare monologues. They hold auditions, the whole 9 yards.
No way.
It is so fucking funny. I was dying laughing. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. It's just two British guys trying to do it within Grand Theft Auto, and then people start to get excited and like come and audition for them. It's God. Funny.
It's so brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But that like action, the movement is so jilted, and it's like
hilarious,
and it's like moving. They're like moving in kind of like a slow wobbly motion of like constant movement. It's like choose character,
Yeah. Yeah.
That whole thing. So, and like I said, it's very funny. And this is one of the videos that really gets him to kind of go viral. It's like a real viral moment for him. His videos and account are starting to blow up. He's getting like, other content creators to like comment like they're losing their mind. This is so hilarious. This guy is so funny. And his favorite movie is Scarface. And he does a lot of impressions of like Tony Montana. He does character impressions of like Nicolas Cage characters. He does John Wick. So he's like, he does a lot of this kind of joking character things. And it's funny. Like one of them is a video like where he sends like his, it's like threatens his sister's new boyfriend as Tony Montana. He's like, if you ever, you know, and it's just kind of like almost like if John Wick had a job in real life, it's that kind of funny, you know,
like skit.
Exactly.
Question: Would Scarface be on your list of red flag favorite movies?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it would be for me too.
It's tough because it's
a good movie.
Yeah, Goodfellas is one of mine, and I think that like that could be.
I do love Goodfellas too. I do love Goodfellas,
but I love Goodfellas. That's one of my favorites. But Scarface feels.
Scarface is a good movie. It's just like there are certain movies, whether they're good or not, it just makes me be like, why do you like that? Like we need to just go one level deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
is it the cinematography or
like is it the excellent acting or you know what I mean? Like if you tell me that American Psycho is your favorite movie, we need to have a conversation because
I think
like,
we're done.
Do you understand like the commentary that's being made here and that's why you like it, or is it for another reason? You know,
right? Fight Club. It's the best movie ever made.
Fight Club. Yeah, like these are just it's not a deal breaker. It's just my ears are gonna go beep.
Here's one of my favorite movies that I think might be a red flag for you guys. Full Metal Jacket. I love Kubrick and Full Metal Jacket's my favorite. Would that red flag you guys?
For you?
For you?
No.
What if I was the guy version of me?
Maybe.
Yeah.
A male Aries. Ooh, whose favorite
movie is Full Metal Jacket? Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't know. I just need to ask a couple more. I got some follow-ups.
And loves Tarantino. Oh God. Yeah.
I'm worried.
I wouldn't date me at all.
I'm worried.
I would not date me.
I will tell you, I think like if your favorite movie, like unironically, and you're a man, for me, where I'd be like, I don't know if you're getting a second date, Natural Born Killers. Like if you're like Natural Born Killers is my favorite movie.
No.
I'm like, you know, and this is just a personal thing, but I'm like, I don't know if there's enough follow-up questions in the world for me to be like, I can get around that.
California's way better.
I've never seen California.
Oh,
I know.
Well,
I know.
I think
she's adding it to the Tainted Love movie list right now.
Yep. It's already on there, but I'll move it up. All right. So anyway, his favorite movie is Scarface. He does all these like skit videos. Basically, you can see why his content is becoming popular. He is funny. Like he's got like a good personality, and it's really like, not until like hindsight where you're just like, how much of these personas were bleeding into reality. Gen Kid becomes verified, and this is a huge step for him. Becoming verified on TikTok at the time, like, this is like, 2018, 2017.
TikTok. Yeah.
I
Got
mean,
it on the ground floor.
Yes, this is real verified checkmark stuff. Like you're so big that people might try to imitate you or steal your videos. So having a verification is important. And it was such a big deal. And it really kind of made his online presence more legit. And his follower increase dramatically. He went from hundreds of thousands of followers to millions of followers. And, this is not anything to laugh at. This is, you're taking someone into now career level of followership, because now you're going to start
money too.
That's exactly the point. Exactly. So your opportunities are opening up. You're going to get like businesses asking you to, represent them. And this is a fucking huge deal. This is money, money, money. Right. But with that also increases the pressure to maintain, that's needed to maintain this kind of level of content,
to
right?
produce. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Anna's followership, because, she plays, some bit parts in some of his skits, and, she films him, and then, you can kind of hear her laughing in the background of some videos. Like, she becomes like a bit of a side, famous because of his content. And, her followership is growing quite a bit as well as her image is becoming more and more important. During COVID, this is like around 2019, 2020, Anna's, followership is growing. She's doing skits with friends like across the country. She's living in Virginia. She has friends living in San Diego, and they'll like put like videos together where like she's doing something, and it's cute. Like, but it's trying so hard to like get this like, it's such a lonely time. We all know, right?
Yeah.
It was such a lonely time. And
Yeah.
if you're not already not living close to people, it's just your husband's family. You're from another country. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you don't have a lot of people to support you, right? You're pretty isolated. And then on top of it, COVID, extra isolating. And by the time that COVID restrictions started to lift, she was really, really feeling down. And she was like, I really want to kind of escape this, Ali world. It's Ali's family, it's Ali's life, it's
Ali's career,
it's everything, right?
Ali's baby. Like, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And so Anna decides she wants to take a trip to San Diego. This is where a lot of her past friends lived, people from Okinawa. Again, it's a military city, so it makes a lot of sense. So some of her friends from Okinawa had lived there. Some of her Filipino friends are living there. Like, so she's got like a little bit of a friend base there, and decides to go out and take a vacation and enjoy some girl time. And she does. But when she's there, she falls in love with the city. And she's like, San Diego is where it's at. This is where we belong. It's a fucking beautiful city. I can totally relate. I love it there too.
I love San Diego.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I was in my 20s, especially when I was single, I was like, yeah, I could see myself in San Diego.
The
Like,
vibes in
great.
San Diego are so like chill. It gives you that very like California beach
Surfer,
town.
Yeah.
Vibe. Yeah.
Absolutely. And in 2020, Ali actually agrees. He's like, this move, she's like, goes home. She's like, Ali, we really need to move to San Diego. He agrees. He's like, it actually might be a really good opportunity to be
Closer to LA.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
in closer proximity to Los Angeles, where his career could have, this opportunity to blossom if, he can branch out of the TikTok world into, who knows what else. His main goal, I think, at this point in his life is to become famous. He wants to be a movie star. He wants to go, further into acting. This is definitely where he can see himself. They moved to a beautiful downtown San Diego high-rise building. And this is a great way, of course, this beautiful building, beautiful life, beautiful family. This is perfect TikTok fodder, right? Like perfect life, perfect wife, perfect family, beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful city. It's giving every TikTok vibe you can imagine. Soon after they move, Ali actually starts to book gigs in the Los Angeles Comedy Club. He's always wanted this fame, and he's really kind of starting to feel like his dreams are about to come true, right? But fame kind of becomes a drug for him. And once you kind of achieve this level, and especially too, he has millions of TikTok followers. You go to a place like Los Angeles where people are always trying to be spotting quote unquote celebrities. You're at a comedy club. He's signing autographs for the first time in his life. People are recognizing him.
I can't imagine what it does to your brain, even without that.
Yes.
Even without the like being in public and people recognizing you. Just knowing that there are millions of people watching you all the time, I can't imagine what that does to your brain. Like it has to rewire something,
Truly.
Well, and also, I think being ethnic and growing up in Virginia and probably, like not fitting the
and Muslim, a traditional like Muslim. family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's got to be some of that like now they want me kind of vibe
Sure.
to it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I'll show them.
yeah, a little bit. You know, like I was like othered in school. And so sometimes I get a little bit of that. Like when I was in my 20s or 30s, and I'm like, well, they want me now. You know, I can imagine that on a grander scale
absolutely
being a little bit more.
Oh, for
than
sure.
that. Yeah,
Absolutely. It surely can go to your head. And again, this is why I was saying this documentary was actually really good, because you do have this psychologist who is kind of describing like what that can do to your mental state and how it can affect,
I'm sure he's getting DMs and comments from chicks
all the time,
left and right. Yep.
Your ego has to be so inflated, and it would take a very special person for that not to wreck them. I mean, if you see, I even look at that. What's that guy, the comedian who's not that funny, who kind of blew up, did his face and shit.
Oh, Matt Rife.
Oh, Matt
Yes.
Rife. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of started off being funny guy. And then it kind of was like, ugh, gross, dude. Just really took a turn. But you're like, you can see like the facial work and stuff that he's done. It's like, I think it goes to their head. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, I even think about when we don't have millions of listeners, but I even remember when we were doing video for the first time and how like weird it is to see yourself, and it's hard not to be like, oh, I should do this thing or that thing, or I need to get better makeup, or I need to get Botox, or I need to, whatever. Just like seeing yourself, I get it.
Yeah.
Like why people, it's a very slippery slope once you start with that stuff. When you're looking at yourself all the time and you're being criticized all the time, and there are strangers who have opinions about you, and Matt Rife is shitty, but like,
yeah.
I get that aspect of it to a degree,
Yeah. It's easy to fall into kind of those traps that you kind of end up setting for yourself, and it's hard to recognize them, and once you have that level of recognition, it's hard to let that go. Like you've reached a plateau, and you hear actors and actresses talk about this a lot. LA's hard. And you're only as good as the next gig, right? It's a hustler town where you're constantly hustling for the next thing.
And being compared.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're
constantly.
always struggling for the next thing. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing is, written. So you don't know. Like you don't know what, you could be relevant one day and not the next. So it's a hard, tough game, and you have to really thick skin to deal with that.
On social media, especially, if you're a social media star, I feel like your skin needs to be like tough as nails, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle that level of potential criticism.
No, I look like somebody at like Drew Afualo, and I'm like, she's got to be one of the strongest, baddest bitches out there, because the amount of shit that she has to put up with on a day-to-day basis, all those comments, and just the ability to brush it off and just be like, this shit doesn't matter. These people don't know me, and that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Not relevant.
God.
Yeah.
You got to know yourself really well, and you got to be like, I'm the baddest bitch. I know I'm the baddest bitch, and I don't,
You got to light up the room like a Molotov cocktail.
That's right.
And like me, thrive when people give hate. I'm like, please, nom 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 nom.
Do
nom,
you,
nom.
Cassie?
Oh,
You,
fuck yeah.
Yeah? Oh, man. I'm a sensitive little bird.
It. I know, because you're my baby Aries, and I love you so much.
Or Pisces.
That's what I said. Pisces.
And me, I just like avoid. I'm just like, nope, it's not.
Didn't
if
happen.
It's not there. It
see
didn't happen.
Didn't see it. Didn't happen. I am like, oh, you like that? Okay. Oh, okay. Did I hurt your feelings? You think about me too much. That's
true.
I am the worst person to come for, because it kind of gives me more of an ego stroke than.
Because they're thinking about you.
They're thinking about me. I'm living in your brain, bitch.
You're like, negative attention's still attention, bitch.
It's still attention. I was adopted. Give me more. So yeah, no. At any rate, like I said, San Diego really was a good move for them. But Ali really, fame is fickle. and there's a level of control you lose over your image. And you've been able to control your narrative so specifically for so long because you're the person producing the content. You're the person who's been pushing out whatever message you want people to see. And I think this is what's so important about this story. It's like you have a perceived notion of what people's lives are like, especially when they create content on a very regular basis, that they live this beautiful, perfect life. They have a beautiful, perfect wife, husband, spouse, partner, whatever. They have this beautiful home, and it's a mirage.
Social media is, such bullshit.
It
like
is.
That. Like, and not even just for celebrities. It's just like, it's part of what makes it hard for me to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as like someone who's actively posting things, because it just feels inauthentic in so many ways, It
is. Yeah. And the more you find out that, the worse it is, And it's kind of, it gives that everybody's got opinions. Opinions are like assholes, right? Everybody's got one. And it's just that like now you see everybody's asshole.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Right?
Yeah.
But again, San Diego initially, beautiful move. Ali's becoming, getting some more opportunities, but also too, as he's seemingly, it feels like he's losing control of a lot. Something he's had so much control over. He had so much control over their lives when they're in Virginia.
Right.
The only people they're surrounded by is his family, really. His friends, his family, his life, and he can control every aspect of that. Whereas in San Diego, Ana has friends. Ana has a network. Ana has people.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, all this control that he was able to, expose upon her, like, is not really there anymore. Of course, he's got also just like, it feels like there's a lot of control issues, right? Not having as much control over maybe the messaging that gets to go out versus also not getting as much control over his family life. He's starting to unravel a little bit, right? He is losing some of this control over Ana. She does have friends. She can have those friends. She can go out. She's posting videos with her friends. And now she has somebody to post videos with, like her friends. And those videos don't include Ali. So, he has, he's starting to feel like, I probably bet, like, not as needed anymore,
Yeah. I mean, it feels like that's a small person.
Yeah.
Who can't handle their partner having a life outside of them.
Of course. A perception.
I don't think there's anything more unattractive to me than a man who can't handle his partner's success. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember having to apologize or make my wins smaller to make a partner feel better about their own life, and it is a terrible
minimize
feeling.
your wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I started the Gabby Petito documentary series.
There you go.
And I just started it because the first episode made me so fucking mad. And if you've ever had a relationship like that, it is so triggering. It is so triggering. But you definitely feel that way. It's like she's constantly, and I've been in relationships like this where you're like, you are constantly apologizing for, their insecurities,
right?
Their sensitivity.
Yep.
Like they're constantly trying to make she wanted to do this van life thing. And he went along with it and smiled in all their videos, but behind the scenes kind of like resented her, didn't think she told her she wouldn't be successful at it. Like stuff like that, just always trying to like cut you down, you down, and it's a control thing. It's an insecurity thing. It's they're too good for me. I feel deep down like they're too good for me. So I need to make them feel small and worthless so that they won't leave me.
Yep.
And it's a really sad thing that I feel like a lot of people end up in, at one time or another in their lives.
I think there's definitely some of that in this case as well. A perception of yourself becomes so inflated, right? Like constantly being told how great you are. You're constantly being, told, oh my God, you're so funny. You're so this, you're so that. You start to believe the hype, right? Like people,
Right.
Million followers.
And you want that adulation at home too. Like,
Right.
And so if she's not giving him that same kind of adoration that
And
he
who
feels like he's
does?
getting online, nobody is worshiping
insane.
at the feet of their partner all the time, nor would I want them to. Like, I want them to
Exactly.
like me and encourage me and tell me I'm pretty, but
Yeah.
I don't want them to be this adoring
Fan.
internet stan. Yeah. Like
Yes.
at home, but I think some people feel like they deserve that because they're
Yeah.
getting it all the time. And they're like, well, why wouldn't my partner be, why don't they think that the sun rises and falls by
Exactly.
by me,
Right.
Why
Well,
do
and
they want to go hang out with other people? Why do they want to go do their own thing? Why would they want to,
But again, because of this kind of perception warping that's happening, his brand is really starting to kind of like, his brand and his reality are starting to kind of blur lines, right? Ali and Ana are living it up in San Diego though, right? They're going out partying like on the weekends, they're having fun, they're going dancing, and Ali starts to use cocaine.
Yeah, that's always good for
Yeah.
those situations.
Yeah, great
I
for
feel
those
like when
situations.
cocaine comes into the picture in any of these stories, it's
Yeah.
like, turning point.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time you're like, oh no.
Oh,
Foreboding.
volatility added to the picture. Great.
That's the kind of thing that makes you pick up a chainsaw at a conference and wave it around.
No.
Wait, what? I don't know
I'll
about
tell you
this.
later.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I can't wait to hear this story.
Sidebar though, I know
yeah.
that things are about to get real dark in this story, but sidebar, can we girls trip to San Diego sometime? Because I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I love San Diego. It's fun.
Me too.
It's a fun time for sure. Ali is so disillusioned and brazen. He's like the cocaine is making him cocaine Superman at this point. He is brazen. He is pulling out bags of cocaine in restaurants. He's pulling them out and like, oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You,
Live
like,
streams.
Look, we got to
doing-
have an intervention.
He's
You
doing
can't-
He's doing
On-
like bumps
on TikTok?
on TikTok live streams. He's doing, he's really starting to unravel. Cocaine mixed in the picture with somebody like this with a big ego and you're headed for narcissist hell.
Yeah.
But this is all, happening at the same time that he's really starting to unravel and his need for control increases. But Ana is happy with her friends and she's thriving in San Diego. Like this is like, she was like born to be here. This is her place and she is, other than Ali, living her best life, right? In 2021, Ali and Anna's relationship becomes more and more volatile. Ali is lashing out and he is not liking the independence that Ana is gaining in their new life near her friends. He's happy to have Ana on the sidelines, behind the camera, supporting his career, but that became, threatened with every bit of independence that she's gaining. The cracks are starting to show, though. Ali is becoming increasingly paranoid, cocaine, about Ana cheating on him. He is so paranoid. He constantly is saying, you're cheating. I know you're cheating. We haven't had sex in a month. And so I know you're cheating.
Projection.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's recording all these moments. So he's not just like doing this. He is recording this.
Something has snapped mentally.
Cocaine.
He is not connected to reality
No.
anymore. To think that that's a good idea, there's something wrong with his brain.
Yeah. It's wild. He's like, he's recording moments in which she arrives home, accusing her of being with other men, like literally showing their fights. He's degrading her for not sleeping with him.
He's posting this on TikTok?
I don't think he's posting these videos at the time, but he's recording all of them. I don't know for what point or what purpose, but yeah.
It's so strange.
At this point, I think they show them in the show. So they show like all their fight. Everything you see in the show is like his talking, his voice, him recording everything. I don't know if it's paranoia that has him recording. I don't know if that's part of this or what. Or he's just so used to recording his life, he doesn't know when to stop. I don't know. The explosiveness of their fights is increasing, and Ali is using their relationship like weaponry. He is the one who got her visa to get married, and now he's like, I got your visa, you're mine now, so you're obligated to me, and you should be
how that works.
Grateful for me for bringing you to this country. He threatens to have her deported and lose her daughter, but by July of 2021, it's escalating so much that it's unbearable. It's unlivable. Police are being involved, but he is great as presenting himself as this really stable guy. It's like as soon as the police show up, he puts on the face.
Check his phone.
Yeah,
got some videos on there.
Yeah, right. The police were called 9 times to the home for domestic disturbance. And Ali is effectively just holding his wife hostage in this marriage because he's basically holding her status in the U.S. as like a carrot above her head, right? Ali starts using his online platform, going live during their fights. So now he's starting to post. He's telling his audience, which is fucking scary. He's telling his millions of audience who love him and think he's so special that his wife is, that he's, Anna's trying to destroy him, that, she's an awful human being, that she's ruining his life.
Okay, the cops that are being called to the house for the 9 domestic disturbances, like maybe take one deeper look, get on TikTok one time to prove that maybe he's not the stand-up guy that he's presenting himself to be when he answers the door.
I think that's the thing with lives, though. Like, I don't know that they're captured, they're for
not,
later.
But so surely, if you have 1 million followers, somebody on that live,
but they're all his fans. They're not going to, what fan's going to turn him in? I mean, they're basically like, and it's all his word, basically. So he's like, talking about her, like, she's awful. And of course, his fans, his followers are all going to back him in his side of the story. This is only him basically giving his side. And then trying to basically gaslight the situation, make it look like she's the problem. And I think this is allowing him to feel even more justified in this, because he's basically presenting this to his fans, and his fans are like, wow, she seems awful, get a divorce, hire a lawyer, she seems awful, right? Because they only know what he's telling them, so Anna, and if I say one more time, if this was a drinking game, Anna and Ali had met a mutual friend, Ray, in San Diego. Rayburn is his name. Ray had said to Ali when they had met how lucky he was and how much he really admired Anna. Like, she came from another country.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this triggered Ali immediately. He's telling all his friends that Ray is trying to, hone in on his territory. He's trying to take her from him. And these violent personas that he was, getting laughs at in social media were increasingly spilling into his real life, which wasn't funny. So he'd say, stupid shit like that. He would do like these violent character things in his videos around like Anna's friends and stuff. And they're like, that's actually not funny. Like, that's not cute. That's maybe, yeah. This isn't the context in which this
we're
is
not
fun.
Your fans either.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
We're not your fans. We're friends. That's different.
Girl, I know people. That is such a real life thing. I know I have friends who've become pretty famous on TikTok, and it's like there's a level of fame that certain people hit, and it's like when you're around them, you're like, I knew you before you were famous. So like,
yeah, what are you
what is
expecting
this?
of me? You want me to react to you the way that
do you want me to
a fan
hit you
online
and say
would react to you? Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No. So the violence really isn't a character anymore. She escapes the house. She ends up going to a friend of hers. She calls her cousin and is like, get me out of here. Goes to a friend's house. And her friend is like, notices right away that she has a bruise on her face. This is stuff that she's been hiding for who knows how long, maybe possibly years. But she's finally facing the facts and the reality that this is no longer a safe environment for herself or her daughter, and she needs to get out. I mean, they're having increasing fights in front of their daughter. He's clearly now becoming physical. If he hadn't been before, he definitely is now. Her friends are certain that he was before, but they didn't really have proof until this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's what the psychiatrist was saying on the show too. She's like, this kind of violence, this level of violence doesn't happen overnight. So, it's an escalation for sure. She threatens to expose pictures because now she's like, you know what? You're right. And now that she has agreed with her friends, I think that's a kind of thing, right? Like once you've started talking shit about the person in your life with your friends and you've crossed that line, you've made a decision now that says, if you go back, you can't unring the bell. If you go back, you're a dummy. Because all your friends know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do very, very well. Yeah.
And I think that this is the thing is like once you finally can come to terms with the situation in which you're in and you can admit to your friends that this is the situation, you've crossed the line. You have made a decision whether you know it or not. You've really come to that place where you're like, oh, fuck. I said that out loud. That means it's real. And at this point, she's like...
I would hope your friends have a little more sensitivity than to think that you're a dummy. Because abusive cycles are a little bit more complicated than that.
Of course. But I think once... I mean, from your own personal perspective.
Absolutely.
Once you've... I would never...
I know what you're saying. I just want to clarify it.
Yeah. It'd be hard for me, even if they know what's going on, but once you can physically admit it out loud of your mouth to your friends, that's a different line.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. There's cycles. And you're like, oh, he doesn't mean that, or you make excuses.
Right.
And
I would hope you have friends who are supportive and who are able to discourage you from going back into a situation that's violent or bad.
Yeah.
And would want to protect you and use as much tough love as they can to
Her
do
friends
that.
are amazing.
Yeah.
Her friends are amazing, and they're fucking Team Anna 100%, and ever since the beginning. And it's heartbreaking to watch the show because you get to see her friends and like how they're coping with it at this point, and it's devastating. But she's like, you can also tell that she's done because she's starting to threaten to expose these pictures to families, friends, his online followers, and say, you know what, we're done. I have pictures, I have proof now, and we're not going back. And I will expose you for the fucking monster you are. All the meanwhile, of course, he's been cheating on her. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Textbook.
You can?
Called that.
Yeah. Okay. One of the people he had cheated on her with is actually from their building that they lived in.
Bold.
And the girl reached out to Anna telling her that he had taken her to their home. He started doing cocaine, became erratic, and started talking about Anna. And she knows like right away, she's like, I have to fucking warn Anna about this. Like, this is this is like, you know,
Danger. Yeah.
danger. This is scary. This is fucked up. And at this point, she just wants the truth to come out.
No, but that's like, I really, really want to make that point. If you've done nothing at all to be like all of a sudden accused of cheating and your partner starts doing that, 1000% they are cheating on you.
100%.
It's always the case because it's projection. It's so out of the blue, all of a sudden you're being accused of cheating. You could be like, what's going on over there?
And
Like,
they're berating you about it, and they're getting really paranoid about
Yep.
it. And like,
they're cheating. They're cheating on you.
Yeah, for sure. Again, this girl reaches out to her and she's like, I'm at this point, she's like, I'm just glad that you told me. She's like, I'm already emotionally done with this relationship. I do not love him anymore. I am not, this relationship is fucking over. We are done. And Ana posts a TikTok with a caption, 7 years of toxic and abusive marriage and finding out he cheated on me in our home. So she's hitting him where it hurts. His online persona. She took it to the streets. He's unraveling. And Ana is ready to move on with her life. He threatens her so much. He is literally, they play the voice memos he's sending. He's threatening her. He's like, you're going to ruin my, everything that means anything to me. And finally, after all these threats, he takes down the video. She's done. You know what I mean? Like, she's just like, fine, whatever. I'll take it down.
well, and at that point, it doesn't even matter if you do take it down because
It's been seen.
Like I said, the internet is forever. It's been seen. It's been shared. It's been screen recorded. Like it's going to be out there forever. Yeah, fine, take it down. You know?
Yeah.
And, all through this too, and at this point she takes it down. She's like, but she's healing. And even in text messages, excuse me, even in text messages to him, she's saying, I just want you to move on and I want you to be happy. And I wish you the best. It's more than he deserves. He doesn't deserve that, but
it doesn't matter because it's not about her and it's not about their relationship. It's not about anything except for his ego. That's all it's about.
Yeah.
So her, that's not going to matter to him.
Yeah.
It's about control and ownership and all of that stuff.
And honestly, I think a little bit of an obsession with her. I think there's this underlying, like, you belong to me aspect,
It's ownership.
Yeah. Ana has moved out. She's trying to start to pick up the pieces. Her friends are still concerned about her because they know that Ali has a gun. In fact, one of the incidents that really led to kind of the end was Ali, I think, had threatened to shoot himself. He was slamming the gun down on the table. This all happened in front of their daughter. So this was really fucked up. And
no, I mean, like that's the thing is this guy, I'm not going to say he's stupid because it sounds like he's on drugs is what it sounds like. But like this kind of erratic behavior, all of this stuff, I mean, I know how it ends, unfortunately, but he's just leaving evidence all over the place. All this stuff that he's threatening her with. She like doing that stuff in front of your daughter, video recording all this stuff, sending threatening voice memos, posting on TikTok. If she wanted to take this to court and get full custody, she would have plenty.
She's got everything she needs. Yeah.
Yeah. And you gave it to her.
Exactly. And it's this brazen attitude that I think that was already brewing because of the life that he's in, but then has escalated to such a point because of the cocaine. I really do. And I'm not giving any softness to his culpability. Like I'm not trying to say that he's not 100% culpable of everything that he has done. Mm-hmm. But
lots of people do cocaine and don't hurt
for sure
their partners. So.
Exactly. I've never hit Chris and I do cocaine all the time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And I only hurt him a little bit. It's fine. He likes it.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Internet.
Jokes. I got jokes. All jokes. But he, her friends are concerned. They know Ali has a gun. They aren't convinced, that he's not going to do something, to harm her further. She is completely not afraid, though. She's like, there is no way he would actually truly harm me in that way. And it's the psychologist on the show was like, just because somebody in the circumstances you've known them to up to this point doesn't mean the circumstances of how they will act when you leave them. And that is 100%. So true. And I think that it was one of the reasons I'm like, this story is so fascinating. Because the element of social media, this idea that people live this perfect, beautiful, false reality, it's reality TV at its finest, which is fake as shit. And we all know it, right? But then it's also this element of, the effects of, this mental abuse, this abusive relationships, physical, mental, emotional abuse that partners go through.
Yeah, over and over on the stories we've told on this podcast. How many times have we heard that exact same thing? That like, even though he put his hands on me, even though he hits me or hit me once, or he is verbally abusive to me, or he's acting erratically, he would never actually kill me.
He's not going to kill me.
We hear
it all
that
the time
over and over. Yeah.
There was a shocking statement in the show that caught my attention, and that was 85% of the calls received by the San Diego police are domestic violence calls. That is
man, I'll tell you
number.
something. I at this point in my life, give me my like peaceful little apartment with my cat. I just want peace. I just want peace.
A cottage and a cat. That's all we ask for. Ali reaches out though, and tells Ana that, he's just going to he's moving out. He's going to move out of the house. He's going to move into a hotel so that she can move back in with their daughter back to the apartment. Ali, though, has made a copy of their key unbeknownst to her. In October 21st, 2021, Ali uses his secret key. He comes in and he wrecks the apartment, additionally putting a tap on his daughter's iPad so that he can listen in to what's happening in the apartment. He is intent on finding evidence that he can use against her. Ana returns home to find the mess. She calls her friend to pick up her daughter from school and plans to have the locks changed and file a restraining order.
That is so delusional on his part, I have to say, like that he is tapping this iPad in hopes to get evidence to use against her when he broke into the house and wrecked the apartment.
Right.
Like, do you understand? Like the kind of evidence you would have to get against at this point. She has so much evidence against you. The amount of evidence you'd have to get against her to win in a court case, you're not going to get it. Like,
this is cocaine brain.
Yes.
It
is. But I mean, again, illogical. I don't want to minimize.
It's illogical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to minimize.
There's no logic. Yeah.
Yeah. Ana asks her friend Ray, the friend that they had met, Rayburn, to come over and help her. Can you come over, help me clean up this mess, so I can get it ready so my daughter can come back to this house. Meanwhile, Ali is listening in and can hear that there is a male voice in the house with her. He heads over to the apartment right away. He starts recording. He's recording all of this. You can hear him open the door. You can hear the clicks of the gun. You can hear the gun go off. It's fucking psychotic. So, definite trigger warning if you're going to, content warning if you're going to watch that. Her friend goes to pick up Amira. And as soon as she pulls up, she sees Ali is arriving, grabbing their daughter. So she tries to phone Ana, can't get a hold of her. So she is following him because she's like, I want to see where he's going. Like, why did he get her? And is that okay? Like, what's going on? So she loses track of him. She can't get a hold of Ana. And someone already at the apartments had heard the gunshots and everything. So the police are already on their way to the apartments. And somebody has identified him immediately. They were like, oh, it was Ali. It was her, this is who it was. It's her husband, lives there, whatever. They find Ali on the 15. He's in his Jeep, the gun, the ammo, everything is in the car. Amira is in the back seat in her, carrier or her seat, car seat.
Car seat.
She's fine and is taken into custody. Ali is immediately charged with first degree double homicide. And at the hearing, girl, it's wild. At the hearing, Ali hears the detective describe that they think that Ana had started seeing Ray and it was a new relationship. Ali fucking loses it. He's like, bitch. I mean, you can hear him say this in court. He fucking loses it.
Yeah,
He's like,
you're right, Christina. It's not rational at all. Because in what world would you do this?
Yeah.
oh, he loses his fucking mind. He's like, I knew it. I knew she was fucking cheating on me. Like, he's losing his fucking mind. Also, at the preliminary hearing, neighbors of the family testified that a month before the shooting, Ana had knocked on the door asking to use her phone to call the police because Ali had hit her and taken her phone. Also, according to the police officers who were testified at the hearing, they said that he had called 911 after the shooting and said that the victims had already been shot when he arrived. And you can hear on the recording that he recorded him shooting them, shutting the door, going outside, pacing the hallway, reopening the door, screaming, Ana, Ana. Like, it's so psychotic that he's like, you just recorded yourself doing this. And then of course, the neighbor has a Ring doorbell, can see the whole entire thing. There's nothing that he can do to talk himself out of this. I don't know what kind of delusional land he's living in at this point, but it's just like, he's fucked and he's fucked himself and he's fucked up people's lives. It's just fucking awful. After the hearing, the preliminary hearing, he does an insanely disturbing interview in which he talks about how close he was to fame and how his life is ruined, that it's so fucked up. Like, he barely acknowledges that he literally murdered his wife and their friend, Ray. Like, he's so upset about his career ruined, his life is ruined now. And, he actually is so fucking, this is wild. He has someone post a call from jail where he's apologizing to his fans for not being able to post content. It's disgusting. He's like,
this person is unwell. Like, this is like, this isn't.
Oh, no, it's taken such a turn for sure. It's absolutely heartbreaking, like I said, to see her friends. They wished they had tried harder. Of course, there's only, so much you can do. I don't think it's easy for someone to admit when they need help. But there's also this lie that you tell yourself, that it's all going to be fine. There's this lie that you need to tell yourself, I think, in which you're like, I have been under the control of someone for so long, right? I've been controlled by this person, under someone's thumb, not in control of my own destiny. And since you've lost so much of yourself in this relationship, it's hard to admit to other people that you need help. It's hard to admit that you don't have control of your new life. You don't have control of yourself. And I just think it's a really difficult thing to ask for help. I think it's difficult for women to ask for help anyway. But I think that when your control has been taken away from you for so much of your life, that when you're just trying to get it back, the last thing you want is to ask other people to step in. You want to do it your way. You want to have like this peace that you create for yourself. I don't.
Well, and it's also, if your control has been taken away for so long,
you need it. Yeah.
It's something that you
and I
want
think it makes it difficult
for yourself
to ask, Yeah.
And
so May 2024, trial begins. 2 counts in the first degree murder. The question in court, though, is whether it's premeditated. This is really what's up on trial at this point. The defense argues that Ali was triggered to the acts of violence and that it was not premeditated. His attorney, Exactly.
Right, because
brought a gun.
premeditation, I mean, that's all it takes is like he heard something.
Yeah.
He went over there with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds premeditated to me.
Grabbed a gun.
Yeah. Done and
Yeah.
done. She argues,
Zip,
though, that
zap,
Anna
zap.
drove him to the
So,
brink and
there
he
you go.
snapped.
You can't.
Yeah. May 29th,
Sorry.
2024, the jury returns with a verdict in the 2021 slaying of his wife, Ana Abulaban, and her friend, Rayburn Barron, as guilty in 2 counts of first-degree murder using a firearm, and he is sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
Good.
Her friends are refusing to stay silent. Her friends
Good.
are on a mission, and their goal is to raise awareness for other women who are in situations like this so that they can get the help they need. And one of the things that was actually on the broadcast on the show, and I'm going to share now, is the 24-hour domestic violence hotline. And that's 1-800-799-7233. And that's, again, it's 24 hours. It's 1-800-799-7233.
Wow.
So,
Well, that's very upsetting.
yeah, it's devastating.
Honestly.
And to see, though, her friends really, God, it's really heartbreaking. You know, the people she was so close to, her best friends, who are just like, of course they're devastated, but there's a daughter now who doesn't have her family, you know, is being raised by Ali's family, you know, because I'm sure, you know, they probably can't.
Right. Her family's
Yeah.
in the Philippines.
Yeah, her family's in the Philippines. So it's, you know, tough.
Yeah.
And, you
that
know-
is truly very sad.
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
It's devastating. It's such a devastating and sad story. And, you know, it really shows, I think, some of the dangers of what fame can bring for some people. And, you know, that.
Well, but you know
escalated-
what? That was in him always, though.
Truly.
You know, like, yes, it may have escalated things. It made his ego explode and stuff like that. But I mean, you're talking about somebody who was, I'm sure, dishonorably discharged from
This
the
is true.
Air Force for fighting.
Yeah,
like-
and someone that's always, quote unquote, if you're nicely saying like, oh, he was always like a character, what that's saying to me is that's somebody that's always needed that attention. And, you know, that can be a dangerous character trait as
Right.
well. Somebody
I
that
agree.
constantly
Yeah.
needs attention, you know, and validation in that way is
Yeah.
can
I'm
morph
not
into
saying-
something dangerous.
Yeah, I'm not saying fame didn't play its part. I'm absolutely sure it did. But with people like this, it's like, you know, that was in him all along.
Yeah.
Something like that was in him all along. And if it didn't end up this way, if he never became a TikTok star, without getting some kind of, like, without working on yourself and being an introspective person and wanting to, you know, be a better person, he probably still would have been a shitty partner
Yeah.
to whoever he ended up with.
Yeah.
You know. Wow.
Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I somehow I got on Australia 60 Minutes
Oh,
YouTube.
okay.
I got on Australia True
Love this
Crime
for you.
YouTube. And so I've just been watching like 60 Minutes Australia. And so I watched one on and it's like a very, very famous interview with this woman named Belle Gibson, who was like a wellness
apple cider
influencer.
vinegar.
Yeah, which I haven't watched that, but I watched that 60 Minutes, and then I got on Netflix, and Netflix had a documentary about it, and I think it was what was it called? Hold on, it's called The Search for Instagram's Worst Con Artist, and it's all about
Jesus.
her, and like her story is one of those fascinating things where it's just like, it's like Elizabeth Holmes, where you're like, where did you think this was gonna end? Like,
Right.
you had to know that like somebody was going to find out, because basically her story was that she had brain cancer and that she was healing herself through like natural
Oh my God, I totally know what you're talking about.
remedies.
Yeah.
And built this wellness empire that was massive. It was like growing nationally. She had to deal with Penguin Books. She had to deal with Apple. She was on the very first Apple Watch. Her app was like, it was
Oh, geez.
huge. And then people started being like, this seems not right. It seems like
Yeah.
you look very okay for someone who's not taking any medication and whose brain cancer has spread to other parts of your body. You know what I mean?
It's like Scamanda. It's
Yes.
It's also
you
like
gotta
that
know.
woman that pretended that she was a 9/11 survivor. I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
Grey's
that
Anatomy.
documentary is insane.
yeah,
That
Grey's
documentary-
Anatomy girl.
yes.
Wow. Yes.
Like people that think the author too, that JT Leroy thing, I'm like, eventually you're gonna get caught. Like, how do you sleep at night?
If you get to that level, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna try and scam, the key is you got to keep it under a certain, under a certain level. Because if you are making deals with Penguin, you're making deals with Apple. They got people on there, and they're not even the ones who blew the story wide open. But you have to know you are playing like a very high stakes game at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do that. I'm sucked into that story. I'm gonna watch Apple Cider Vinegar. It's wild to me. Just scam stories are so crazy to me. Just because I'm always like, they're not playing consequences. Where do you think this is going to end up? And this woman in particular cannot give up the ghost either. Like she'll admit to some things, but like not other. She just talks in circles. It's the craziest thing.
Oh, weird.
That's so wild.
I've been on a movie kick because we're getting ready for our big Oscars competition. So I told you guys in the shorty, I watched The Last Showgirl, even though it's not Oscars. I've been really excited to watch that. Absolutely fantastic movie. Definitely recommend. It is, just watch it. You should. I also watched Conclave this week.
I heard that's delightful.
It is so good. It is
it's funny to me.
It's a mystery.
Oh, I'm in. I'm sold.
You said everything I need to know.
You have to solve a mystery, and it's like all these like gossip and tea, and they're all wearing. It's like, and Catholicism too. I mean, I was talking to Eric about it because that's where we differ. And you guys raised Christian, and me Catholic. Catholicism's like spooky. And
is spooky.
You know what I mean? Like our weird little robes and habits and like rules and everything.
A little ball full of smoke for some reason. You're like, what's going on?
Right? Candles, lighting candles. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll watch anything with like, you've got like a bunch of my favorite middle-aged character actors, like male character actors, just being like gossipy bitches. I freaking love it.
It's exactly what it is. You got Ray Fiennes, you got the Tooch, you got John Lithgow. Like, it's good.
Love it.
It's really good. So I definitely recommend it.
Awesome. I don't know if I told you guys this last week, so if I did, hopefully I'm not repeating. I read I listened to What the Dead Know. Learning about life as a New York crime death investigator.
I'm fascinated.
Okay.
Tell me more.
Yeah, it's by Barbara Butcher. And again, it's called What the Dead Know. And it's, it's fucking fascinating. It's got, I think I was recommended it because I had listened to the Paul Holes book back in the day. But she describes, it's New York City. So like she describes some really incredible stuff, but it's like her life as she moves through out of addiction, how she comes into this from her past in addiction and moves into this role. And it's really good. It's actually really good. It's one of those books that like kind of sticks in your head for a while. And she even speaks about how, she's a death scene investigator. So her job during September 11th was going down to, the main, heart of the destruction and recovering bodies and trying to identify.
Especially recovering from addiction and having that. It reminds me because I watched an episode of Intervention where the guy was a mortician and he lived in Oklahoma, like near Oklahoma City. And one of the things that fucked him up or like was a trigger that started his alcoholism was that he was one of the people who had to go to the Oklahoma City bombing. And so he's pulling kids out of the rubble and stuff like that and having to prepare these bodies and talk to these families and like, Oh God, I can't imagine what that does to you.
Truly, I'm sure. And she'd been sober for quite some time before she, before that happened. But she did end up, having to deal with some, mental health issues and things. And, I just can't imagine. But she actually didn't come into, she'd already gone to school and got her, I think, doctorate in like medical, like management type stuff before she even got into death investigation. And it's kind of interesting, how her life goes from like wrecking her career because of the alcoholism to coming through the 12-step program, how she recovers her life and moves into this career. And it's highly recommend it. I highly recommend actually listening to it too, because she is telling the story. It's really good.
What the Dead Know?
What the Dead Know, Barbara Butcher.
I will listen to that. Yeah.
Barbara Butcher. What a great name.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you guys have something that we should read, or you have a terrible date story, or you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.